Everybody, good evening. Chef Marshall O'Brien here, and welcome to Cooking with Confidence. Love being with you all Thursday nights, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bottom of the hour, we got the show for you. But we got a great recipe. For those of you that are on our mailing list, you know what's going on. And if you're not, make sure that you're following us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chef Marshall's Cooking with Confidence. Make sure you're subscribing there. Help us out. We got a few people following. We want more so we can keep bringing you more awesome stuff. I super appreciate you being here. You know, the reason why we put this show together, three things. Number one is we want to give you the skills in the kitchen to make great, tasty, nourishing meals. Number two, we want to help you take some stress out of your life with some easy meal planning. And number three, we want to teach you how to nourish you and your family and not just feed you and your family. So really excited to be here. Love doing it. Every week when we have the show, we want to know, how'd you like the recipe? Did you make the recipe? So give us your comments. Send pictures of your food so that we can do a shout out on it. Please do that. That's how we do it. We love doing it. Well, for this week's episode, number 8, we have chicken enchiladas. Very, very simple to make, very tasty. You're going to love it. For this recipe, we are using chicken, of course, and you can substitute, and we'll talk about that. We have some crushed tomatoes, a little mozzarella, chili powder, a little garlic powder, onion powder, a little salt and pepper, green onions, cilantro. What am I missing? A little vegetable or chicken broth, and some tortillas. Easy, easy, easy. And I can't wait to show you how to do it, so we are going to jump right in. Make sure, by the way, if you're looking for more awesome recipes from me, go to chefmarshallobrien.com. We also have our Smart Nutrition Cookbook and Meal Planner. Not only does it have over 70 breakfast, lunch, dinner snacks, you know, slow cooker, multi-cooker recipes, dips and dressings and all that stuff, but it's going to help you out a meal plan, help you get set up for success in your kitchen. And it's a kid-friendly book too. It's a great way to involve your kids and your family in making great, tasty, nourishing meals. So definitely check that out. You can go to smartnutritioncookbook.com or just get it in our shop at chefmarshallobrien.com. Enough about that. Let's get into this. We got a great recipe. It's chicken enchiladas. First thing I always say for folks, are you prepared? Did you get the recipes? Are you watching right now going, hey, I want to do that. That looks kind of fun, because we get to cook in real time or on demand thanks to our new YouTube channel, Chef Marshall's Cooking with Confidence. But if you don't have tonight's recipes and you're going, man, chicken enchiladas, I totally want to do this, sign up in the chat box. You can go to chefmarshallobrien.com/show. Get on the email list, and then every week we will be sending you that upcoming recipes and shopping list so that you can be prepared and have fun with me, because I want to help you in your kitchen. Great having you all here. If you've got questions right now, thanks to Facebook, let us know. Ask us the questions. Are you trying to do some substitutions? You know, traditional enchiladas are corn tortillas that are rolled up with all sorts of stuff. Like I said, we've got chicken and cheese and some tasty savory sauce, but you can switch it out. I know a lot of you are vegetarian. How about some roasted vegetables and some great tasty savory beans in there in place of the chicken? That would be fabulous. You know, I want to get all the barriers out of the way, and I want to show you the first barrier to get out of the way. Oven is ready, by the way. Is getting the sauce put together. You can certainly make this in advance, or you can do it as I'm doing it right on the fly here. We have crushed tomatoes. Okay, we're going to put the crushed tomatoes in our big bowl here, and I'm just going to scoop out. Whenever I'm using tomatoes, I always like to, especially diced or canned tomatoes, I like to look for the low sodium. I just want tomatoes. Sometimes you have to put some citric acid in there just to help with the preservation. I get that, and I'm okay with that. But I want to make sure that we don't need the excess sodium. You can make flavor with all the spices, and I love the spices. Spices not only bring flavor, aroma, and beautiful eye appeal, but there's a lot of medicinal benefits. A lot of you who watch have heard me talk about the benefits of herbs and spices, and I'm not going to get into all of it right now. But there are great benefits, like anti-inflammatory benefits, can help reduce your headaches, can help ease digestion. So having herbs and spices in your life, in your dishes, I try to do that in a lot, and I love cooking with them. They taste great. And we're going to put some herbs and spices in our sauce. We have chili powder. Jana, my right-hand gal, Miss Jana, is my wife. I always say Miss Jana when technically you're Miss MRS because we're married. Forget how that works. Shame on me. I apologize. But right-hand gal, Jana, been together, married 15 years, 2 awesome daughters. She is moderating questions and comments. So if you have any questions and comments, let us know in the chat box, and we're going to take care of you. We're going to add our chili powder, and I apologize. You want to make sure, I talked about being prepared. You want to make sure that your oven is set at 350 degrees because that's how we're going to cook the enchiladas, okay? Make sure you got that. We are mixing the tomatoes with the spices. So I just added the chili. I added the chili powder. I added garlic powder, and we're adding some onion powder. We're also going to add some salt and pepper. You can certainly add to this. You want to add some oregano. You want to add some thyme, some marjoram, whatever you want to do. Certainly do that. But this is pretty simple. I like to make my own sauces because then I'm in control of the flavor. I'm in control of the salt, the sugar, the fat. I'm going to make this taste fabulous, and I know exactly what I'm putting in my body as a result. You know, it is my responsibility, and it's an honor and a duty to take care of my kids, and I love providing them great tasting and nourishing foods that are going to work for them, not against them. And the same for me and my wife. I don't want to eat foods that are going to make me feel like a zombie, you know, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's why I like to make, you know, as much as it's realistic to do it from scratch. I mean, truth be told, I did not do the tortillas from scratch. Yes, you could do that, and there's people that like to do that. And if you love food that much that you would make your own tortillas, more power to you. Make me some because I love them, all right? But I did not make these from scratch, and that is okay. All right, I have added the spices to there. I'm now going to add the broth. Okay, we have some, you can use veggie or chicken broth. Add that in there, and this sauce is basically all set. Questions, comments? Dominic, love having you on. Thank you, sir. But I'm going to let Jana do her job because I'm just so excited to have people here and be with you tonight. Jana, go ahead.
Yes, Dominic says, how about diced fire roasted tomatoes? I have a can, so now thinking of using it for this.
I think that's an excellent idea. And what I love about the fire roasted flavor, thank you, Dominic, for bringing that up. The thing I like about the fire roasted flavor is, you know, tomatoes, you know, they're technically a fruit, and they have a high sugar content, naturally occurring sugar. No big deal. When you roast them, and having the canned fire roasted, when they're fire roasted, it pulls out some of that natural sugar in there, and it caramelizes, and it deepens the flavor of those tomatoes. So you get a nice, just another layer of flavor in those fire roasted tomatoes. So I think that's a great idea. Love that you made that suggestion, Dominic. And to Dominic's point, ladies and gentlemen, you can always try, you know, to make alterations to whatever you're preparing. You know, I was just doing a presentation earlier in my studio kitchen. Welcome you all. Earlier today, I was doing a presentation, and we were talking about how you can, you know, make things work for you, because cooking is an art. For those of you that are watching tonight that are bakers, you know that it's more of a science, and if you really know what you're doing, you know, you can kind of follow that path with that recipe, but you follow the path. Whereas when we're preparing here, yeah, we could switch it up, fire roast to diced tomatoes, you know, this, add this spice, that spice. So all I'm saying is I want you to take the courage in your hands and just go for it and try. And if you want to add some things, you know, switch some things around, totally cool. Okay, sauce is done. I've been stirring it longer than I need to. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our tortillas and we're going to lay them out. Any questions, comments, thoughts, Jana? I'm going to lay these out, and this doesn't get any simpler than this.
Yes, Tess has a question.
Yes, Tess, good evening. So happy to have you here tonight.
Hi, Tess. She wants to know, do you need to heat the sauce before using it in this recipe?
You can heat it. I am not. I'm doing it really simple all at once. The flavor will evolve and develop while it's cooking in the oven. However, if you want to, you can, just as you alluded to, and you can cook the sauce. And what I would actually do, Tess, is I'd have a separate saucepan. I'd add the spices first to bring out the flavors and really bloom those flavors and get some added depth from the spices. And then I would add the broth and I'd add the tomato sauce and just simmer it. Be careful not to cook it too hot, otherwise it will burn because of the tomatoes. But yeah, you definitely can, but it's not necessary for how we're using it. Appreciate the question, Tess. That's awesome. Remember, folks, whether you make the recipe tonight with me in real time or you do it this weekend thanks to our cooking channel on YouTube, Chef Marshall's Cooking with Confidence. Take a picture of what you do so we can see your beautiful mastery and acknowledge you and give you a shout out. This is an awesome recipe. I don't know if anyone watched the teaser. We had a little 40-second teaser for the show tonight. You can, and I mentioned in the teaser that you can make this in advance, which is really nice. Make it on the weekend, pull it out for Wednesday evening after a long day. You're tired, you don't have to cook. It's already done because you made it and it's in the fridge or the freezer. Pretty awesome. Okay, moving on, folks. So we've got our chicken. We portioned out the chicken on our tortillas here, and then I'm going to actually take I'm going to take my 8x8 Pyrex dish. Now, if you don't have one of these, please don't stress about it. Just use whatever you have. At the end of the day, I want to get all the barriers out of the way so that you can make great tasting and nourishing foods with you and yourself, or whomever. You and yourself would be the same, right? But with whatever you have, make it work. Because the fact that you're going in that positive direction is progress for you. So just, this is ideal, and it works, and it kind of keeps it compact, and all the juices and the stuff really, really develop and marry. If you don't have it, not the end of the world. That's all I'm trying to say. We're going to take a couple tablespoons of the sauce. According to the recipe, we say take 3 tablespoons of the sauce, and then we're going to just line it, and this will be sort of a natural barrier to prevent sticking and stuff. If you are concerned, you can always add a little bit of some oil or whatever, or some butter, and coat the pan. Maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. When we've done this, it hasn't been an issue, so just letting you just make that decision. Questions, comments, thoughts, Jana? All right, pan is prepped. Oh, go ahead. Yes. You have questions, I have answers.
Awesome. Jackie wants to know, did you cook your chicken in advance?
Good evening, Jackie. Love it that you are all here tonight asking questions, cooking along. Yes, I cooked the chicken in advance. It's going to make things a lot easier. And to that point, Jackie, maybe you had a chicken dish earlier, at another time. Prep some extra chicken. Take it, get an extra pound of chicken and cook that at the same time. Just, you could season it, throw it in the oven, put it on the grill, saute it, whatever. And then have that extra chicken for something like this. Make it really simple for yourself, but I did, to answer your question, I just seasoned it with a little salt and pepper, and I baked it in the oven. But you can, again, do as I say, and that will make things really simple for you. So we have our pan prepped, and then we're going to add, Jana, anytime you want to make a comment or anything, certainly you know the drill. We're going to take a little bit of our sauce, and it doesn't have to be exact here because we're going to have a lot of sauce on top, but we are going to
Dominic
put
says
sauce.
leftover Thanksgiving turkey from the freezer.
Ooh, that sounds good. Yes, sir. I would do that. I think that would actually be a really nice one. And you know what I might do now that you bring that up, Dominic, is I just totally on the fly, I'm thinking of this. I would take that leftover turkey. So like Tess was asking, can you make the sauce in advance? I would make the sauce in advance. And then I would take that leftover turkey and I would basically I'd put it with half of that sauce, or like a portion, maybe a third or a fourth of this with the sauce, and let it sit overnight. Turkey, there's all sorts of ways to prepare turkey, and turkey is not my favorite meat, but I do enjoy it. But if we let it sit with some of that sauce overnight, and then when you prepare it, it's going to have more of those flavors infused, and I think that would be absolutely dynamite. So that's a great idea, Dominic. All right, folks, we have added a little bit of sauce here. I mean, this is so simple. You don't have to be given a presentation like I'm doing. Obviously, I am. Then we're going to take half of the cheese, and we're going to, I say in the directions, do a couple tablespoons of cheese on each serving here, right? If you prefer to use corn tortillas, you certainly can do that. The one thing you need to pay attention to, and for those of you that have used corn tortillas, you know how this, they can be a little brittle. They're not as pliable as a whole wheat or regular wheat tortilla. So that's just something to keep in mind. You may want to warm up those corn tortillas if you go that path, and then you'll have to be a little quicker just so that they stay pliable. Otherwise, they can fall apart, and we don't want that to happen. But having said that, we took half of our sauce, or half of our cheese, and put it on top. We're good there. And now we're going to roll it up. I get really excited. I kind of move my arms, my hands. I get animated. One thing I just want to say from making things easy and not messy in your kitchen, you can always move sauces with handles of spoons that stick towards you. Move them away. I just realized that I'll probably end up knocking it over, and it'll probably be funny but unnecessary. So I'm just going to move that and then bring that down a little bit. All right. All right. How are we doing tonight? Who is making this in real time right now? I want to know. Ask us a question. I want to see pictures by the end of the night. I love that.
Cindy is making it for the weekend.
Oh, awesome, Cindy. I love you. So cool you're doing it. Good. I want to know how it turns out. This is easy. I mean, really, this is easy. And especially, let's say you decided to do the sauce in advance. This would be even more easy. But I'm just rolling these up. And I'm having the seam side down. Anybody know why I'm doing that? I'm doing seam side down because when it cooks, it's going to, the juices and the sauce are going to meld in and kind of seal the rolled up food, if you will. And so then it will not open up on us, and it will be very, very easy to do. And you can see here how we have it, we have it packed in a little bit, and that's by design, because we want these flavors to marry and be really happy and work together like this. And we're going to do it like that. Awesome. Make sure if you're not fans of ours, make sure you are not only on Facebook, but on Instagram at Chef Marshall O'Brien. And I'm going to keep letting you know. I want you to go to our YouTube channel, Chef Marshall's Cooking with Confidence, and please subscribe. The more people we have following us, subscribing, the more production capabilities get unlocked for us. So please go. It's a great episode. It's a great channel. I'm excited. We're going to be doing more stuff, all jokes aside, as time goes on.
Carrie says, my daughter is making this in real time.
Awesome.
And
so happy to hear that.
The name, Jane? No.
Jean?
Jean?
Is it Jean? Jean? I apologize. How do we pronounce your name? But I'm so excited that you are participating too. This is great. This is the whole point of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Give you a fun way to get your dinner on the table in real time, or on the weekend, as Cindy's doing. Answer your questions. Carrie, if your daughter has questions about, are the spice, something about the spices and things like that, let us know in the comments and we can answer. I want to be a resource for you. Someday we'll have holographic technology and we'll be able to see everybody in the studio cooking together, and it'll be fun, but that's a fun little fantasy I have. We're not there yet. So comments in the chat box. Thanks to Facebook.
Thanks, Jean. She said it's Jean.
Thank you.
And we are aware of the YouTube stop working. So we're working on it.
Okay, thanks for letting us know.
For
appreciate it. Our enchilada preparation is almost done. We have rolled up our tortillas. Again, folks, it doesn't get any simpler than this. We're now going to take the rest of the sauce and we're going to pour it on top. Just a little word of self-conscious, awareness. Don't pour the sauce towards yourself, especially if you have a lot of sauce or you're pouring from high altitudes, high levels. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. Point is it can splatter and can make a mess. We don't need it to happen that way. I'm just going to pour this on top of our, soon-to-be enchiladas. This looks great. And we're going to let that just kind of slide our spatula back and forth to evenly distribute our sauce. Can evenly distribute our sauce, and I don't like to waste food, so I'm going to scoop it out here just like this. All right.
Sharon says,
yes.
I made it 2 days ago and used fire roasted tomatoes.
Awesome, Sharon.
But she forgot to take a picture.
Sharon, you know what? That's okay. You usually take pictures. I appreciate it. We still love you. And I'm glad that you made it. How did it turn out with the fire roasted tomatoes?
She said it's good. It turned
awesome.
out very good.
I am a huge proponent, and I don't always do what I say, but I'm getting better. I think you might agree once I tell you what I'm talking about, is make things in advance. Make it easy for yourself. So to Tessa's point, get the sauce done in advance. To Dominic's point, use leftover turkey. Use leftover ingredients. Make it on the weekend like Cindy's going to do, and Sharon just did earlier. But you have these types of things. Maybe you want to make, if this dish is a hit for you, maybe you want to make a double batch. Then you have one have them both in the freezer, or one in the freezer, one in the fridge, whatever you want to do. But just make life a little simpler. We're busy. I definitely want you every Thursday night doing it with me in real time so that we can have a fun meal together and you can learn skills because that's what we're trying to do. So definitely keep that up. The last point we're going to do is to add the cheese on top.
Okay.
Yes.
Carrie has a question. Her daughter missed the onion step. Do those go inside the tortillas?
You did not miss the onion step, my friend, because we haven't gotten there. So these are going to be on top. And I want to make a comment about garnishes here in a second because it's kind of a garnish, but it actually adds a lot of flavor along with the cilantro. So you did not miss a step. You're good. This looks gorgeous. We are going to go put it into the oven. 1 second here. And then, thanks to TV Magic, we have one all prepared, and we're going to take that in just a second. Going back to Carrie's question, with her daughter about the green onions. We put this recipe together where you could add the green onions, add the cilantro at the end once you portion it up, and you add it on top. And what I like about this approach, a lot of times people just think of, producer Alex back there was commenting that his grandma likes to, she likes following the show and she's cooking, but she's like, well, Chef Marshall puts these little frilly things on at the end. Well, there is a method to my madness. Yes, it does make it look pretty and makes the colors pop out. And when you add, in this case, the green onions and the cilantro, when you add it to the hot food, the flavor in the onions burst because of the heat. So it adds a new level of flavor, and it really completes the dish that you're making. So think of it, it's not just about making it look pretty, but it's about adding flavor. And in our recipe, we say add 1/4 cup of green onions and the like. I have more than that, and that's okay. But I want you to think of this as sort of like hitting it with a little bit of salt at the end to pull the flavors all together. These green onions and the cilantro, which we're going to cut up here, is going to bring all the flavors together, and it's going to be dynamite. Questions, comments, thoughts?
Jean says, we're so glad that you're cooking live with us.
Well, it is absolutely my privilege and pleasure, Jean. I want to get everybody hanging out with us Thursday nights, 5:30 Central Time, participating in real time. Make sure that, Jean, do me a big favor. Let your friends know. Send them the link, chefmarshallobrien.com/show, so they can sign up and do what you're doing and everybody else tonight, because this is a lot of fun, and it's just my way to give back and to help and make a difference out there, and we want to help teach skills and all that fun stuff. Why am I holding these up? This is kind of cool. And Carrie, your daughter, and anyone else who has kids that are cooking with us tonight, this is the end of the green onion. I can cut it all up, or we can take it, and these stems, you can just stick this in some dirt, okay? Put it in dirt and water just like a plant, and it will grow new green onions. Really fun little thing. Kids, grandkids, cool stuff. Even adults think it's cool. So there's something for you to keep in mind.
Tess says parsley instead. Parsley, please.
What's that?
Tess is saying parsley, please.
Absolutely.
Parsley
you can use parsley instead of cilantro if that fits your palate better. There's a small percentage of people, I think it's not such a small percentage, but there's always a handful of people that have a sensitivity to cilantro. It almost tastes like soap. And what that is there's an enzyme in your saliva that makes it taste like soap. So if you don't like soap, cilantro soap, don't put it in there. I totally support that. Great suggestion. Tess, I want to know, does the cilantro taste like soap for you? I'm curious. We're going to pull.
She says, lucky me.
Yes, lucky you. Aaron, you're one of them. You can't stand cilantro. I get it. You know what? My mother-in-law's the same way. I love cilantro. I think cilantro is awesome. And it's one of those things. I don't have the gene. All right. But I have the appetite and I enjoy the flavor. We are going to grab I just had a mind blank, chicken enchiladas out of the oven now. All right. Let's get these out. Wow. This looks dynamite, folks. Okay. Look at that. Can we take a nice shot of that? Look at that. Get that bowl out of the way. Doesn't that look beautiful? It's been cooking for a good half hour or so. Looks fantastic. What we're going to do now, you can do this a couple ways. If you're just serving, at the table, you can obviously put stuff on top like that. Again, the heat from the food is going to start you know, relaxing I'm getting really granular here, I apologize, but it's going to start relaxing the herbs and bringing the flavors out of the cilantro and the green onions, and it's going to be awesome. If you don't want to put them on like that, no problem. You can do it when you serve it, if you're serving somebody. So that is something that I want you to think about. Few more tips. Again, the make ahead, big tip. I think I've made that abundantly clear. Do whatever you can do in advance so that it will be very easy when you are preparing. Another thing is, this is a great kid-friendly recipe, and I loved that Carrie was participating with her daughter tonight. Any time you can have young ones in the kitchen with you, it gives them a sense of ownership, and that ownership will help them make more empowering decisions for them, especially when it comes to eating great tasting, nourishing foods, because nourishing is different than eating. You know, food works for you or it works against you. So have food that you enjoy. Feel that you're in part of the process, and having your kids or grandkids or whomever helping you with it, and it's just going to make a much more enjoyable, positive experience for everybody. So I'm excited that we got to do this tonight. We are going to serve it up. Yes.
I just thought about something.
Yes. I got a comment from Jana.
Oh,
yes, I'd like to know.
What if we make this dish with ground beef?
I think that would be very tasty. I'm just going to riff for a second.
Well, like sauteed onions.
Yeah, so you would, I mean, again, the whole point of the show is to help you build skills and maybe a little confidence so that you keep cooking for yourself and make great tasting, nourishing food. So you could take this recipe, you know, and I think earlier in the show I was saying, you know, you could take out the chicken and add beans and roasted vegetables and do other things. Well, to Jana's point, maybe you're not a chicken fan, you want ground beef. Well, you could cook some ground beef in the pan with the spices and then add the sauce and just make a saucy beef, you know, mixture right there. Boom. Reserving some of the sauce now that I'm complicating this, but the point is you can add that in the tortillas and kind of go about what we just did. I think this is going to be a great dish. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the bottom, almost at the bottom of the hour. I am super appreciative of you letting me cook with you tonight. I hope that you have a wonderful time enjoying this. Please take pictures of your dishes before you gobble them down. We want to know. How you liked it, how it turned out.
Okay.
Go for it. Yeah, I love it.
Aaron cooked up onions and garlic with the chicken and added black beans.
Wow, that's awesome.
That looks great.
That's good. Again, springboard to make greatness in your kitchen. Aaron, I love it. You did it. Way to go.
Tess made chimichangas?
Tess made chimichangas. So with this method, so chimichanga is as I understand, it's sort of like an enchilada, but if I'm not mistaken, it has a fried, sort of like a fried burrito, and then you have the sauce on top. I haven't had a chimichanga in a long time, but
I never had it.
It sounds tasty. My pleasure, Carrie. I really appreciate having you here. This is the whole point of this show, is to have fun in the kitchen, get a great tasting, nourishing meal on the table for you, and to get you excited about doing this for yourselves on a regular basis, not just once in a while. So have fun, enjoy your meal tonight. Make sure, folks, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your family's friends about our show streaming live. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Chef Marshall O'Brien. Make sure that you're following us on Instagram at Chef Marshall O'Brien. And soon, well, we have it live, but you'll see it visually. We're going to have our Chef Marshall's Cooking with Confidence YouTube channel. Check it out right now. Go subscribe. Okay, we want people following that so that we can keep bringing you great episodes and tips and tools and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be great. Next week, we got a surprise recipe, so I'm not going to tell you about it, but we will be sending out the recipes moving forward Sundays. I got numerous requests for the upcoming episodes recipe in advance so that people could shop, and I said that's a great idea, so thank you folks for your suggestions. So Sunday, look for my email on next Thursday's recipe. Also, folks, I've got a lot of great recipes that I want to provide you and demonstrate for you, but I also want to know, what do you want me to teach and show? So if you've got ideas, say it in the comments, say it in, shoot me an email with the pictures of tonight's finished dish, please, so that we can start creating more fun stuff for you in the kitchen. All right, I just served up Miss Jonna. I got to serve up Alex. We are still going lean on the production team thanks to the state of the world. So Gabriel and Liz, I hope you are enjoying your own enchiladas that you've watched and made at home. I can't serve you tonight, obviously, because you're not here. But hope you're doing good. And while you are all enjoying your dinners, we are going to enjoy our dinners with the Chef Marshall Show family. Until next week, have fun in the kitchen. You got any questions, comments, thoughts? Let me know. Look forward to cooking with you next week. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Have a lovely night.
See you later.